Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You all may be seated. I got prepared some months ago for this particular Sunday. I even ordered a red suit to represent the freedom. I thought I was going to come out and put out a little bit of flames, and my son beat me to it. My daughter and my son, I'm truly pleased. I'm truly, truly pleased. It enables me to know that I'm on time in what I'm doing and about to do. If my son is with me, then shortly behind, others are coming behind him, my other sons. And I didn't hear anything that he spoke of, nor my daughter, that was in error. Everything that they said was true. I didn't know that my daughter and my son was going to do this. However, I'm extremely pleased. And this is the way that you should see it. We are the ones that is actually the individuals to make sure that you receive freedom forever. Forever. These ones that are speaking to you that come from me have me in them. I was going to speak on the purpose of vision. Let me do this first. I want to thank all of you all that came. I don't know. You all want to stay on the roster with me? Well, let me introduce some of the ones that actually work with me and that I depend upon and that I'm very strict on. Naturally, you've seen Mother. I haven't been as strict on no one else other than her. As much as I have with her, no one has received a strictness from me because of the duty she had to perform. And the duty wasn't so much as to be your mother as to be her brothers and sisters' mother. And to be their mother, they are not chumps or pushovers. She had to really be who she is. You all understand? Yes, sir. So since you know Mother, the one that is standing next to her, to the left of her, since my twin sister isn't with me at this present time, she's serving as my twin. This is, since we're speaking about now, we're letting everything out of the bag. This is the female Allah. I'm balanced. I'm not just by myself or one gender, as the Sunni Muslims or the rest of the Muslims say. He's neither he nor she. This is true. However, it is not that I need her to be Allah, but since we have the female, then we can't bring in life unless we have two. So the life we're talking about is the human life. So you see, when you see her, this is my twin. Mother is still teaching her and getting her ready and preparing her, so she's not quite right yet as far as being Allah or Mrs. Allah. She's not missing anything at this particular time because she's with us. Now, I have my daughter, Fatima. She's intellect. She represents the planet Uranus. The brother was asking me, I think it was the last brother that asked me a question yesterday concerning the 4 planets with the sisters. Well, this is one of the sisters. Of course, Mother represents the planet also of Neptune. This is my daughter that represents Uranus. I have my first daughter. I talked to her yesterday, and I didn't know my daughter was going to do this. Mother was going to do this. Explain to you all exactly what has happened with the family. It's not that the devil is interested in getting people out of the bars or out of the churches, because he already got you. The preachers and all, I'm not saying this to mock anyone and whatnot, but the fact of it is, all of the preachers and the ones that's going to church, the devil has got you. Just for the mere fact that you don't understand. He's got you. However, the devil's what was most interesting to him was to actually get the seed of God himself. Are you listening? Yes, sir. Mother has been trying, we've been trying out different people as captain and lieutenant and so forth. But the real captain, her mother, or I'll say the devil through her mother, I don't give her mother any credit, but Satan himself, by her mother accepting him, has had the first opportunity to deal with all of my children that came from me. And I mean from the raw. When Satan starts to deal with you from the mother's womb, and Allah don't stop him, then the only way the child can grow up is to have a friendship with Satan, because they don't know anyone else. And how best to do it than to make your mother that particular individual. So my daughter called me yesterday. I've been speaking with her, and how I know the herb works so well, because in 1990, I think it was, I called my son here, that's with me now, Hannah, and she was in the, she was in the mental ward. And they had let her out for a while, and she asked me, she said, "Father, I'm ready to be with you." So I said, "Well, if you really are, you won't have to go back to the mental ward." So he allowed me to use his apartment. And I brought her to the apartment. Do you all mind hearing this? Yes, sir. She was in terrible condition. She couldn't walk. She was very incoherent from the medicine that they were giving her. My wife, she's not up here. Most of y'all know her. She's here. Yeah, would you come up?
Will the National Secretary James to escort Mrs. White to the podium?
She's already up there. Most of you all that know her as Miss White. Before I actually knew that she was my wife, the scientists came and told me and mother about her. And my grandson, they told him and showed him her. And with the way they did it, they showed him that she was on top of the mother plane. And the scientist was preparing her for me. And I must say, since I didn't do it, somebody had to. She is really a jewel. Well, when I got my daughter, my wife and my twin literally had to bath her, bathe her, pick out her clothes for her, feed her. And within a period, I think, of about 2 weeks, we didn't have the herb with us. My wife and I walked out and we seen it growing. We cut it down, carried it back to the apartment, and she prepared it, cooked it, prepared it, and we gave it to her. And within a period, I walked her every day. In the morning and in the evening, I walked her. And my wife kept giving her the herb. And we made sure she had the right food, and we bathed her and talked to her and told her who she is, who her father is. And within a period of about 2 weeks, she could start doing it for herself again. And it was around the 4th of July again, we carried her back. She wanted to go back to see her children. And when we carried her back, she wanted to go to her welfare workers or whoever it was, the mental people. I carried her back to the office and they wanted to know where she had been. But when they saw her, the woman that was in charge of giving her the food stamps and everything, upstairs was the people that was in charge of the mental ward or the people that they dealt with that had mental problems. And she was a sister. But the one woman that was in charge of all of it was a Caucasian. She was so struck. She said, wait a minute. I got to call the woman from upstairs that deal with the mental problems. She came down, and when she saw my daughter, she said, Selena, have you been taking your medicine? First she said, yes. And the woman said, well, that can't be. Because from the time you've been gone, you don't have it. You should have ran out. So I said, well, tell her the truth. She said, no, ma'am, I haven't taken any of it. She said, well, what I see here, only God could have done. However, to be with me is to be right or willing to be right. To be with me in the beginning is like when the sun first comes up, you feel good. It takes the chill off the night. However, when it reaches noon, if you really weren't serious about being in the sun, you go look for the shade. Because it gets to be overbearing if you're not really ready. So she thought she would take a vacation from me after about 5 weeks, I think it was, 6 weeks. Now she called me again and she's back in the ward again. However, I went to see her. This is in Chicago, outside of Chicago. I went to see her. She is the real captain. However, when they gave her to me and caused me to start remembering who my children really are, this sister was so beautiful. She still is, but according to what she's supposed to be, if we had allowed her to remain sane and be with me before I came into the knowledge of exactly who I am and what I am to do, the devil would have exploited her because of her beauty. You see Mother and the rest of them up here are beautiful. But she surpassed that. She really does. I went and spoke with her and told her that you have to think. Because she knows everything, but she can't bring it forth. Now she's going to have to want to. I went and spoke with her in the hospital, me and my wife. They're still giving her medicine. And I told her, if you're going to be with your father, you're going to have to start to think. She has to go to court. Of course, I can stop all that, but the purpose of it is she had to go and be made to stand still. In order for her to be herself, she has to think. And before she can go to court, she's got to think in such a manner where she understands everything that happens in the courtroom. This is how far the devil has taken my children down. Are you listening? Yes, sir. Because I want you to understand, and from that you're going to know I'm God. They know I am. But they have something in them. This is why it reads, when you read it in Revelation, it says, we call forth one angel. And I gave that angel a duty or a task. Another angel comes up. I said, go smite the water. They didn't all do it at the same time. So with her, when she called me yesterday, she was very pleasant. She seemed to be coming back to herself as she should be. She said, Father, I got it. I can explain everything that happens. She said, how soon will I be with you? I said, as soon as you go to court and do what you're supposed to do, I'll take care of the rest. She said, well, I got it. I said, all right. This was yesterday. At first, I helped her. And she went back. Now she really wants me to help her. And then I come here today and my son makes the statement he does. It's a wonderful time. This particular daughter that I'm speaking about that's not here, that is the elder of all of my children. No, I have a son that's older than her. And she's the oldest daughter. The scientists were teaching me about her, and they said that she was married to the 76th God. She was his wife. Isn't that something? I have to bring her back in being a goddess. Well, I won't prolong this just about the family, but however, this is the point of vision. What is the purpose of vision? It's a place to view what is in front of you. This is why when the Lord was telling Ezekiel certain things, he said, I'm going to give you a vision so you can see today what's going to take place. The purpose of that was so this could be written down and gave to the enemy. So the enemy could therefore write it down in a book, commercialize on it, tell you some truth of it. But the vision means that he viewed this. And the shun means a place. The place is North America. North America. The heart of hell of the planet. I don't know if you all want to stand in the duration that I'll be standing here, so if you want to take seats, it's fine with me. I certainly appreciate my son being with me. The thought of it keeps breaking me down. I don't want to say break me down, but it makes me emotional. I guess so. All right. That's a good number. I understand Channel 9 is supposed to be coming in. I don't know if they're going to be viewing this, but I do notice that most of the times when they hear real truth and pure truth, and this is what you will hear here, every word of it. It won't be nothing diluted or polluted where you can change it around to make it seem as though it was something other than the idea or actually what was being said. No, when you speak absolute, the only thing you can do with it is agree with it or leave it alone. You tell it or don't say nothing. And it appears as though that's what most of, I won't say you all, but most people do. When they hear this, they don't say anything because they can't change it around to make it spell anything other than positive. You see, even if it looks like it's wrong, if I bring it out and show it to you and explain it to you, we'll see it's not wrong. There's a purpose for everything. If Satan is here and we allow him to be here and we allow the devil to be here, well, then there's a purpose for it. And we allow them to have a vision, certain people to have visions, to see what the purpose is. So at the time when I actually show up, the vision and the purpose, or the vision that the people saw before I actually showed up, can bear witness that I'm on time, that I have the right to do what I'm doing, and what to expect from this and what you should expect. You see? So we showed Ezekiel, we showed Nostradamus. However, until I start the fullness of what the vision was actually showing you showed up, you always had the opportunity to vacillate on it, to maybe bring doubt in about it, to think that it is either has happened or that it never will happen, or that we are not righteous enough for this to actually take place. However, it reads that the Son of Man would come and do this, and the angels in heaven will be riding on this plane called Mother Plane on the pillows that will back him up. And it also stated that the sanctuary was filthy with atrocities that would be unspoken that was going on in the sanctuary. And you tell me if that's not going on now in the Nation of Islam. In the house that Allah built, he had Elijah Muhammad to build the palace. He went and borrowed $4 or $5 million from Gaddafi or Libya to pay for the temple on Stony Island Avenue that you and I can't go into. So don't tell me that the vision wasn't accurate. The purpose of vision. It is to give you that is dead a chance to see that God said it. Now you can see that it is real and where you relate to it. It gives you power. It gives you right and the authority to claim your own. You're not by yourself. When I first started off, you saw me by myself most of the time. Either myself and my daughter, and that was it, as far as my family. Later on, then you start seeing Fatima, my other daughter. We've seen other people with us, but not that is directly from my loins. Now you see one of my sons, one of my mighty sons. Samson in his other life was Samson. He's known for strength. He was known for strength. But what did the devil do to take it from him? It's written in coded language that they got Delilah to reveal his secret. And they cut off the 7 locks of his hair. They cut them off. Meaning that this devil here, the Satan that came through his mother, cut him off from his father and his other 6 sons or brothers. Made him weak. Now he steps back with his father. And his power will return. He was the one that called me in the son. Because the God had told him it's time for you to return back to the earth again. He didn't want to go because every time he came, what made him lose his life and return, it was because of a female. And because he didn't want to go, the truthfulness of his heart and the will in his call, I took advantage of that to enter God's home. I saw him first. And then I spoke to the God. Since they started this, I think I'll add a little to it. So you will know that this didn't just jump up. It's just, I went to sleep and had a vision or a dream and I come out, well, I'm God. That is not the way it happened. I started yesterday telling you from 70,000 years, but it started even before then, but for this specific plan. For it to be real and to get rid of this negative that has been nagging God, the Creator, for ever since creation. I'm the one to get rid of it. In order for me not to have to go to every house, every planet to do that, he inspired or got the best representatives from each planet. And there's 9 of them. And brought them here, or ordered them from the sun to come here from me, as a part of me. So when they learn how I do things, why I do things, and what type of energy I use to do it, they are commissioned to go back to their prospective planet and perform the same thing on their planet. Are you listening? So it's not about getting rid of white people. White people, that's already finished. However, it is about Satan. And white people are not Satan. The messenger taught us that the devil is the grafted one. He never talked about no original devil. He always referred to the colored man as Yaku's grafted devil. He didn't never call him Satan. Because the devil cannot get in you. But Satan has a place in you. And this is what I heard Mother speaking about, how difficult it will be for you for this particular fight to get him out. Are you listening? Yes, well, the purpose of vision. When you go and read Ezekiel now, I made one tape concerning the nation of Islam, and it describes it perfectly in Ezekiel chapter 13. You read it. It tells you exactly what's happening in the sanctuary. It tells you. And this comes from Ezekiel's vision, where he saw Allah telling his son, this Solomon, son of man, go do this. Son of man, go do that. Son of man, prophesied against this one. This is from a vision. But the epitome of the vision is to actually see negative destroyed. That's the purpose of it. Now, if you don't see nothing, those of you that don't have a job to go to, you don't see anything to do in the morning other than maybe you see that you should go look for one. But if you have a vision, it always gives you something to go towards. That's the purpose of it. Well, in order for us to say that we're actually free and mean it, we have to have everything that it constitutes life that we need, not want, but need. And we need, since we're on the outside of the planet, we need food and the right kind of food. We need clothing because of the harshness of the elements. We need this. We need homes, good homes, not just any home, good homes. That's what we need. After you get what you need, then you can start multiplying and magnifying yourself on what you want. I want to go to the moon. But before the devil came out of the cave and we stood him up, all he wanted to do was have something to eat and a place to sleep. Is that right? Well, look what he's doing now. Not only does he have that, he's going out in his face. You understand? So this is what we need. We need to have a vision. My vision for you at this particular time, at this era, is for you to stand up and do for yourself. And I will guide you. I will protect you. We need to not show white people we don't need them. We need to show ourselves we don't need them. You don't need to go show white people nothing. They already know what you can do and what you will do if you were left alone. However, they're not going to help you unless they actually see that you really want to do this. And they can't do it from themselves because they're not you. You won't accept that. Even if they get started to make you independent, down the line they're going to deviate back to their nature and still keep you a captive. However, they know that they don't have the right nor authority to stop you if this is what you really want. But you have to really want it. If you don't want it, there's a time set. My son just made the statement concerning the 7 angels. And I've told you all before, those that was in my presence that came around, I've said before, the biggest reason why you don't see them, they don't have the patience that I have. I have one son that some of you all saw at the last Savior's Day. I'm actually going to have to take him away and put him off by himself to keep him from killing you. When I say you, I'm speaking about those that will refuse to do right, to be in accord with the time. I'm not asking for no one to be perfect. It's not time for you to be perfect yet, but you must develop the will to be independent. You have got to do that. And if you need an example, look at it. I'm here. You know, these doubting Thomases, you doubt this and you doubt that. What is it that you really, really believe? And what constitutes a man's belief? If you don't have no knowledge, you can't believe nothing. If you're going to have a real belief, you got to have a certain amount of knowledge that you do understand that fosters a belief. You got to have something to work on. Well, if it is not me, well then who is it? If it is not time for me, when is the time? If I'm telling you I have 7 or 10 children, that is from my loins, that represents the 9 planets, and myself representing the sun. You might say, well, 10, that's more than 9. We have one planet that's a twin planet to this planet. So I have 2 of them on one planet. Are you listening? We're going to get into the real knowledge of the human family in these classes that we're going to set up. Did you all go on the tour this morning and see what we've gotten started as a nuclear? You know, I'm an individual. I'm not afraid of work. Most of the time, if you see me, if I'm not on the roster, I don't wear suits. I got to get used to this. It's because I've always been doing things. And I do it right. If I see you alongside the road, if I stop alongside the road because of a flat tire or whatever it is, I don't wait for somebody to come change it. I know where the tool is and go change it. That's what has to be done, well, do it. I went and looked at the things that we got started and seen the work that still has to be done. If you won't do it, it may take me 2 days longer, but I'll do it. I don't mind getting my fingernails dirty. I really don't. If you all take the same attitude, if you're not here, like the sister said yesterday, this is another sister that's somewhat like our mother, from the age of her and from her being with the messenger and doing what she's doing. We should develop this very quickly to be able to take care of our parents. She's donating and giving to herself and to us with the trust in the time that this is right. But it's like she said, she won't be able to see this and take the full advantage of it because it's here in Kansas. She's not here. But the quicker we raise this, we can place it where she is. I got my eye on a beautiful hotel where she lives at. And it's been sitting there waiting for me. I want it. And I intend to have it. And it's going to be a beautiful place. When you all come to where we are, we intend to have this hotel set up where it's going to accommodate you all the way that the black man is to be accommodated.
I was letting Father know that I'm ready to accept my post with his blessings. Yes, sir. Father wanted me to let you know what I do. I am an accountant in all fields, and I plan to get in deep into the nation and bring it up from the bottom as like an ash, as the phoenix rise from the ashes. And I just wanted the brothers and sisters to know that I'm not going into this as a hobby or something that I take lightly. I'm taking this with full force, with Father behind me. And I do not accept too many foolish mistakes or errors, because it's time out for that. We are here to build a nation, and I'm ready to go to work. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like to say thank you all for coming out. What I want to say is I love my father and I love my mother. I'm still being prepared to see my father in the attribute that I am. And I would like to thank Mother for taking the time to be able to prepare me to be with my father because of the things that's been taking place. I see what is going on and the need for Father to be here. And I'm learning myself and learning who I am. And I'm thank Mother for presenting me to my father.
You might say, well, this is a mushy meeting. This is, we won't have to do it again. It's a one-time thing as far as with these. But I think it has earned a few minutes for this to take place. You know, I'm very pleased. If a man can't get his own home together, he don't have too much right going to someone else's. My son, that just made it publicly known to all of you all that's here, and you can go and spread this because of you. I haven't known him to lie to me. He's been very blunt, mostly whenever he wants to tell me something. He lets me know. He don't sugarcoat it. So if he's made the statement that he's really with me, I'll use the word feeling this time. I feel that he means what he says. I know he is a perfectionist, and since he's an accountant, I'll always know where the money is. So that's very good. You all still want to stand with me? These are, did I think I introduced everybody. We have the National Secretary for the Messenger. We have the 144,000 are our fathers, or what we call the first, and then my daughters, or the other National Secretary, my National Secretary, Brother James, 2X. When I learn his name, I'll give him his name. Then, as I say, Mrs. Allah, my wife, mother, my daughter that's helped me so tremendously much, my other daughter, Fatima, intellect. This is something that once you get something going, I can draw upon to make sure I can improve on what's already in motion. It's clear? Then my friend, I've introduced him several times before. He's standing under the flag appropriate place. My friend, he's given me, we rode together in the trucks, delivering Muhammad Speaks all over North America to make sure that our people got the bullets. And this is one brother that I can say that whatever he tells you, that's exactly what he's going to do. And he's been with me wherever I go. You know, I may go to Timbuktu, I look up, he found out I was going, I look up, here he is. You know, so this is my friend. And Sister Dana, her post was captain. She's a great aid to Mother because Mother has 5 daughters. Is 5 daughters? She keeps slipping one in on me. Got 6 granddaughters. And she's been very instrumental in helping her maintain and raise the children while she's doing her duty towards her father. So she's been a tremendous help. I got quite a few others then. And then we have Brother Secretary's wife, Sister Lyota, on the end with the beautiful hat on. So we stay very close together. Matter of fact, at the time, Brother Secretary and I are very close. So much so that whenever she comes around, she don't have to be searched. Because if there's any intent of harm, she got all the opportunity to do it. So if you, since I'm doing this, Brother Jamal, would you come up? I have some brothers that's with me. Just walk up. All right. Right there, fine. I have some brothers with me. I'll just say that he represents all of the other brothers that are not here, that actually are with me with no pay. If you ask him that, do you have any money on you now? No, sir. He don't have any money. The rest of them that are with me 24/24 don't have anything in the way of they're getting salaries, but whatever they need. What you all give to me in number 2 poor or poor treasury, if it's not enough, we go into the central and make sure that they have what they need. But as far as walking around with money in their pocket or whatever, they don't do that at this time. We don't have it to do that. They don't come before the idea. However, these are the people that is with me that is making sure the idea actually become a reality. This brother was, still, because you didn't lose the title, what was it? WBC? Junior Featherweight Continental Champion Boxing. And he didn't lose the title just because he came with me. He never fought anymore. He spoke with me, and we spoke about boxing and what it really does and what it really means. And he gave it up. And he had the belt. Baby, you still got it? He still got the belt. And the brother was bad, I'm telling you. So this is, we have a native here, Brother Reggie. I don't know where he is. He's like an all-around man. We have him doing everything. So, you know, he's here and there. He come from Kansas City. Where? Oh, in the, back that way, but all right. So if your tapes are messed up, you see Reggie. In the beginning, he upped us quite a bit as far as getting things started on the tour financially. Because when we came off the tour, we had a substantial bill that we had to take care of, and the brother came into some money, and he made sure all the bills were paid. So I said, it looks like the angels really do love me. People just come out of the woodworks to make sure that things take place, and it's for you. Do we have any Christians here today? None showed up. Do we? Or one? One? Two? Yes, sir. Don't be ashamed. You part of us. It's just, well, it's very few of you. Is the Reverend here that was here yesterday? Well, he was supposed to bring a couple hundred or something with him. Well, the day is still young. Maybe we'll see if it actually takes place. So those, I just gave a scenario as to what's happening, who's actually working to make sure the idea becomes a reality. Did you all like what you saw? Where's Brother Yahya? Did it meet your approval, Brother Captain? Yes, sir. I always check with the captain. You know, he was the messengers captain there in D.C. And this was the first one of the 144,000 that I know that actually came and adopted or accepted me wholeheartedly right away. With a sense of reasoning, a mathematical formula that he had been using that corresponded with what I brought to him, that caused him to see immediately, to be in harmony with us. And he has never stopped doing it as of yet. Wherever I go, he's just like my friend 94, he shows up also. So every once in a while I check with him to make sure I'm on the right track. So praise be to Allah for that. I won't ask those ones up on the rostrum here. I would like to introduce Brother Derek. Would you step up, brother? He seems to be the only one that is wearing the crescent on his shoulders. Come on up, brother. If you all order any of the earlier tapes, I want him to say a couple words. Before I started speaking to the public, this brother here carried on the study classes or the meetings, and people didn't know of me. But I heard him on the radio. He's a radio personality. He has a good voice for that. And I said, well, I'm going to seek this brother out. And I did. And he's been with me ever since. And, you know, I had to go up into the clouds and duke it a little bit. But we all came down shaking hands. So, and I see he's wearing his FOI uniform. So I would like for him to say a couple words. As of now, he's the minister at headquarters. I won't say that no one won't supersede him, but as of now, this is what he's doing. And we always do things in such a way, we don't have a post and say, well, you are that, unless you really are that. Because the black man is so talented. If you set yourself, say, well, this is your post and this is yours, and then somebody else come up that is greater, you don't set yourself in a trap. He can't take his post. Because somebody else is there. You know, same principle like the minister. You know, you all have made it, not so much you all, but the black people has made him think that it is him and there's nobody else, that the real person can't come and take the seat. So we don't do things in that way. This is the minister now. Now, if nobody can supersede him, he'll be the minister then. But if someone comes up and supersedes him, we will say this was the minister. You see? Yes, sir. So I would like for him to say a couple words, maybe to tell when it got started. I think I have another adopted son that's not with us, Rodney. But he started off with the minister here with us to get this going. As a matter of fact, you named it first. It was time to Understanding of the Times was the first title of what we started off with the meetings. Would you say a couple words?
Assalamu alaikum. You know, as Father just said, Your arms are too short to box with God. He has made the building of his nation possible. Possible. All praises due to Allah. All praises due to Allah. I better go. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm going to excuse the ones that's on the rostrum with me. I wouldn't want them to stand as long as we'll be standing. So, is something else? Oh, yes, ma'am. Mother wants to say something.
I just wanted to say that for the ones that I've been torn since November up until now in aiding Allah and His plan, which is to see you all rise and be the gods and goddesses you are. I want to thank each and every one of you all from the surrounding temples for making my stay so wonderful, and most of all, being so submissive and allowing me to teach you in times that you had to go against what you thought right was. I want to, not that we show any favoritisms, however, because this particular landmass was designed to aid Satan in his rise, I thought that this was going to be the state that give me the most difficulty. However, it was totally opposite. I want to thank California, Los Angeles, for making me really feel like a star. I want to thank all of you all that came out and heard your Father's voice and accepted the call. And I also want to thank Father for allowing me to be the one to deal with all new beginnings and ever increasing them. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
There's some other business I'd like to take care of. We are increasing. It's written in the Bible, for those of you all that has been reading it, that Solomon, the success of Solomon largely depended upon the laborers of David. And there were always three pronounced laborers that was always spoken of. There was Zadok the priest, Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah, the captain. It never gave a title to that, but we can never start anything out without a law. So Brother Secretary was always telling me about this brother Yusuf that was in Chicago, and he was trying to cause me to remember the brother, and I didn't remember him offhand. He said, well, I'm going to have him to come out to Kansas City and you see for yourself and let me know if this is in truly Benaiah. So from the best of what I can see, he didn't bring me no one that's bogus. So I want to introduce to you all the brother that is, until, like I say, if he proves that he's not, he doesn't. However, we're going to give him the opportunity to prove that he is the supreme captain for the United Nations of Islam. He's standing beside me at my right. His brother Yusuf. I'd like for him to say a couple words to you, if he will.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Magnificent, the Merciful, and in the name of God, Brother Solomon, and in the name of our last messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it is indeed a magnificent and an honor and a beautiful day to be standing among the elite, those who have accepted Brother Royall Solomon, the prepared one. I heard while I was in Chicago 3 paragraphs from my father. And I read a paragraph that Brother Basilia had shown me. And I'm standing here today as a living witness bearer that I don't have any doubt that Brother Solomon is truly indeed that one that the book spoke of that would come all of a sudden. That's right. He would enter his temple all of a sudden. I carried my mother. These are not tears of anger that you see. These are the tears of joy. I carried my mother in my heart for over 20 years. Everybody told me, said, brother, you must be crazy. You're not going to see the dear Holy Apostle again. But I'm here and I've seen my mother. And until I heard my father, I had an emptiness in my soul. But I heard 3 paragraphs. And I told my wife, I said, sister, did you hear this? She said, what? And I played the tape back. And when my father said, I am he, I knew in my heart. I say I knew in my heart that he was the one. And he also said that the dear Holy Apostle, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is well and with him and by his side. The emptiness disappeared. And I'm here to serve the Father and my mother. I don't have a program of my own. I'm here solely for the Father and my mother and whatever my duties are. Rest assured, they're going to be carried out. Because for those of you that don't understand right now, the Father's going to give you some understanding. He is the one that will lead you into all of your spiritual understanding. But rest assured, we have a job ahead of us, a physical job that's ahead of us. We are not expecting the Father to give you something on a silver platter. Because if He gave it to you on a silver platter, then your enemy would come in and take it away. And we will fall right back into the same condition that the messenger and the Father has brought us out of. So I'm here to show you the small things on the physical. Because ain't nobody going to take nothing no more. Because I'm not going to allow it. I asked my father last night. Can I tell him this? I asked my father last night. I said, Father, can I ask one thing of you? He said, brother, what is that? I said, I would like for you to let me stay behind because I want to be here on that day. I want to see the meat come off of the bone. My father said, well, if you think you could stand it. My reply was this: you know I can stand it. He know I can stand it. And I'm just overwhelmed. Because he said, well, I'm going to be here by myself, so somebody might as well be with me. So if that's the way it's going to be, I want to be the one to say, you go that way. Because I told you. See, I know all of them that I want to see. And I've been all over these United States. 2,000 by 3,000 miles of diameter. From California to Maine. From North Dakota all the way down to Texas. And I know who you are. I know who you are because, see, I come out. I am a prodigal son. I come out the street. And I always test the post for the people. Unbeknown that my father had gave me that ability. But I know it today. So I'm so overwhelmed and pleased that the Father allowed me to come before you today. I had no knowledge of this. But like I said, whatever the Father and my mother want done, you will see me. You will see me. That's what I'm making.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Yahya, is that the captain? All right then. Well, it looks like we can go to work now. We got a vision before us. Those of you all that's going to stay on the roster with me, it's fine. Those that are going to walk off, I won't be insulted if you do. I'm going to get into a little bit of relationship between me and the original Allah after He told me what He wanted me to know after I got into His house. This is an individual that created everything that we know. I haven't created anything yet new, different from what He has. It's just that I'm the new creation. In order to magnify myself as being that, I have to correct what He wants in His creation, since He was here first. Are you following me? So, I gave Him a vision and He gave me one. I gave him the vision of perfection, something that he had never experienced. And he gave me the best of his creation and let me see what they would do to make sure that I would be successful and completing my promise to him. So we looked down the line when we would run out of the wisdom of what he had in store. We had gone already to 7 planets, which we'd got here on the earth, from Pluto to here. This is the 7th planet. He said, I'll give you the best of my creation to aid you in bringing about this perfection for me. Now let me show you how we will do this. Just about at the end of it, since the black man is so powerful, it's going to take at least 50,000 years for him to lose the knowledge, for him to go to sleep, just so the enemy can make his showing. I hope you listen. So if we got any Christians or preachers, whatever it is, listen at this, get this tape and get more of them so that you can preach accurately what the Bible is reading and what's in your heart for the people to know. I already said we've taken away the money. So in a few days, you're not going to have that as an incentive to come before your people and show and act and perform. So you listen at this and study it. Those of us that are Muslims, study this. I'm keeping a promise to the original Allah. You may say, well, I thought it was only one. This is true in the sense that there can only be one, and that one is the one that has the most knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That is myself. But however, I have to recognize the one that came before me. So we say original and new. So there is two. However, as the messenger taught us, he will have, when he comes back, he will have an Allah's Allah. I want you to remember this. And this took place before anything was ever seen of this. In the unseen. And because I promised him and he showed me, we'll bring about this brother name, we'll name him Shabazz. We'll allow him to be the leader or the head of all of the nations and planets. We'll make him the 13th tribe, or the tribe of God. He'll be the leader of it, that gives instructions to the other 12. And we will cause him to take the God people away from the other 12 and go away. Since this is a promise that God would do this himself, then the God people would have to go do it, not commission the 12 on back to number 1 tribe to go and do this. God himself has to do it. And if we didn't put God to sleep, then the negative could never show itself. If the sun don't leave, darkness can't come. So this happened 50,000 years ago. However, the instructions from the 13th tribe or the God tribe was so dynamic, so impressionable, so powerful, so invincible that it took a period from 60,000 up until we started making Yaku, or the 9,000 year of this 25,000 year calendar history, for us to come to actually be asleep. Are you listening? Now, if you can equate that, you can start to see the power that you have. It took that long. Now, we brought about, or we are allowed, since that took place, a lot of things start happening to show that there was a fall. And the most pronounced fall was in the spiritual, and they call themselves Buddhists. 35,000 years ago. Are you listening? Now, we haven't got to the Caucasian. I'm showing you step by step. This is the vision that gives credence to you on, you're born, you're here today. You're here to carry a specific duty. And if you understand what it is and understand the time, you were not designed to fail. Failure is nowhere around this. You listening? I just heard the captain say, in so many words, he's going to be the captain, else he won't be here. He give his life for this. And when you have a vacancy and a void in you for a long time and you miss your mother and your father, and then they reappear and they still show their love towards you, and the voidness go away, the emptiness leave, and you become whole again. There's no words in this English language that can describe this other than that I will give all that I have and all that's within my power. Because of the love that I have for right, because I'm all right. You may see me being flexible because of you. Flexible. You know, you can stretch a rubber band, but if you don't break it, it'll come back to its original form. I'm flexible. I put away my powers and come. Or I came here as a promise to the God to bring this mighty God back again. That took 50,000 years to put you to sleep. I'm bringing you back in a couple years. Yes, sir. Do you hear this? And we must remember what the messenger taught us. He said they were talking to the devil. The scientist was talking to the devil. Not Satan, but the devil. And told him, you're wasting a lot of time. You better hurry up and get busy before the next one comes and catch you and pass you. Now this was told to the devil about approximately 250 years ago. He started to get busy. And today we're in a place such as this. He's going out into space, making ready in preparation for the mother plane. But until he was inspired to let him know, hey, you wasting your time. You better get busy. And what it has taken him 250 years to do, he's going to lose it in 7 years. Are you listening? This is the vision. And I'm going to say something else too while I'm speaking about this. These black brothers and sisters, also even the devil, that we caused you to have, and you will not give towards this idea, we're going to take it from you. Matter of fact, with the devil, we're already doing that. But the brothers that have something, while it has some type of power to it, you had better seek us out urgently. As the captain just stated, whatever he's instructed to do, and since he know you, he's been over this 2,000 by 3,000. It looks like there's not going to be no hiding place. The God that created all this wants to come back and reclaim his home. This is why it's written about that I would be his son and I would build his house for him. He wants to come back with the ones that is directly from him and enjoy his peaceful home that will allow him to continue to create without being hindered, someone always holding him up or bringing him back to the point where he started from, making a complete circle. So I, his son, the little Allah, the young one. And he talks about me in the Bible, says he's young and tender. He didn't say young and weak. Young and tender. You know, I will tolerate much more from you than he will. And it sounds like much more than the captain will. We need law. We need law. The lawman is not supposed to be merciful. That's my duty. Right? When the police arrest you, whatnot, he talk to you all nasty, slam up against the car and everything else. You might complain, but hell, it's already happened. So it's the same thing here. I won't have him slam you up against the wall, but you're not going to pull no tricks and get away with it. Is that clear? Now, the God that created this loves me. If you want to see where the conversation that he has with me, read Ezekiel. Read it. He's instructing me, son of man, do thus and so. However, this is still an account of the vision that we saw or we made before we got started. We already saw this earth multiplied or magnified instead of 24,000 miles in circumference up to 42,000 miles in circumference or diameter. I got it right first. In circumference. 42,000. It used to be 35,000 before we blew the moon away. I'm going to add another 7. Just to show Allah I love it. You're not going to hear this in the church. You'll hear it, but it's not this way. It's there, but until someone explains it, you won't know what you read. It just sounds like all this mysterious mystery stuff. When it's not a mystery, everything in there takes power. It takes knowledge and power to actually achieve it. If Solomon was the one that was made more knowledgeable than anyone else, naturally power came with it. Because the very nature of knowledge is power. Without any knowledge, you don't have no power. Is that right? Well, the vision for you all and for myself is for you to come back into being God and to rule the planet. To rule the planet. Not have no combination like as it is today. We have the brown man ruling his borders that we gave him. The yellow man ruling his. The red man they have a territory in the belly of the devil. Is that right? So the earth is split up amongst several different rulers. Black man, you own it all. And we don't have no partners. Are you listening? We do not have any partners. Because we don't need any because we rule so justly. We don't have to have someone to fortify us or to help us or to share this with. If it's perfect, what can you add to perfection? You can add only submission. That's all you can add. Submit to it. That's all. Is that right? Well, this is what the vision entails. Us ruling the planet. And we're starting here in a physical way in Kansas City, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri, in this metropolitan area. I hope that you all understand what you're hearing. You share this with others in a knowledgeable way. And don't ease up on the preachers. Don't no longer sugarcoat it. Don't try to go around the bush or the roses. Go straight at it. I've been laboring now 3 years and a little more. And we are taught that once a child gets to be 3 years old, you go straight at it. You tell them the truth directly. You don't put no sugarcoat on it. So this is what we need. We don't have no more time for people to go around and think that they have a right to their opinion and we have a right to ours. This is not an opinion. If it is, we'll say it this way. It is an opinion that has been made long ago. And what the 3 things that we need to show that you have power, you have to have the spiritual, the mental, and the physical, or we say an opinion. But you have to have influence to make the opinion real. If you don't have no power, you don't have no influence. So we decided this and designed it a long time ago. And we have the power to influence the opinion. You got it? All others that come up with an opinion have no power to influence it. So it's dead. It cannot supersede this opinion if we're going to allow it to be called an opinion. I'd much rather say it call it to be a vision of reality. Was I going to answer any questions today? Is there any need? There is. Did we have any Christians come in yet? No more? Are you all really afraid of me? I don't mean you all. I guess the Christians can't answer if they're not here. I know I was told that I would strike fear in people's hearts. Not trying to. It would just happen. But I'm not here to frighten you. I'm here to take the fear from you. We have to be men and women. You have the right and the authority to be whole. You have that right. It's not that Brother Solomon got it all and I keep it to myself. I have it for you. The very reason why I got it, because I was asking you to be able to be effective in your affairs. I didn't ask it for me. That's the way it's written, is it not? So you have the right for that. I want to make this statement before we have any questions. Yesterday, we had the nectar, which we call the herb, brought here. Really, it was supposed to have been about 2 to 3 bottles displayed on the table so that you know that we had it. Then it was supposed to have been set up where you were supposed to see a specific person to get it, for the express purpose that no one is supposed to have that except the ones that are with the messenger, that came from the messenger, not so much with me, but with the messenger. And we had to screen you to see if it was really worthy of you having it. And then you have to have a direction as to how to take it. But just to purchase it, and it's not what you call purchase it, because just for a quart of it, it costs over $15 to produce it. But since we are not to sell it, we ask for a contribution. However, whoever you are that has got it, we're not going to ask for you to take it back, since most of you are that were Muslims that got it. However, you need to know how to take it. It's not something you just pour in a glass and drink it. You got certain times a day to take it, or a number of times a day to take it, and how many spoonfuls, how many ounces to take. That herb is an herb that just about cures everything. And the main thing it does, it magnifies the spirit of Allah in you. It don't just deal with the disease in the body. It actually deals with the soul. It has the same effect on the soul as silk has on the flesh. Are you listening? So when you go to get it, don't be niggardly in your contribution. Don't do that. It is like the sun. We can't charge you for the sunlight because really what it does, there's no price you could put on it that you could pay to equal what it is giving you or what you're receiving from it. The brother that actually makes that walks up and down the highways and the byways and gets it out of the ditches where snakes are and everything, takes it, cooks it, prepares it, and gets it ready. The gas that he used, the time that he has his son helping him. So it's not something that it just pops up and there it is. It's a process. Is that clear? Now, all of you all that purchased it, before you leave here today, make sure if it's possible, that you call my wife or you see my wife to find out how to take it. If you cannot see her, give us about a week before, you can take a spoonful or two during the day, but give us a week or two to get back to headquarters. Call and ask for the directions on how to take it. Is that clear? So you won't just squander it. Because if you take too much of it, it'll make you depressed. That's how powerful it is. All right? Well, I hope you all understand the word vision means to view something. It's like tell a vision. You're viewing it, but it's telling you while you're looking. But if you just use the word vision, you're viewing it, but it's a place that you're viewing. What's taking place is taking place in a place. The actions that's going on are taking place. You see it in a designated place. And you're viewing it. What's happening? Is that clear? Yes, sir. Now the purpose of it is to make sure, because God always puts out what he's going to do before he does it. That's the same principle as having a vision. You see what's going to happen before it happens. So when it's in the process of happening, you become the is. When you see it, you can say, yes, that's right. The same as what you say, I had a deja vu. Those are things that let you know you're on the right path. Even if you think you did something wrong, you end up in jail. And you get in there, and somebody comes up and says something to you, oh, I saw this. Well, if you never went to jail, you've never seen it. So your deja vu would have been in error. You listening? You, remember now, you're the God and goddesses. You just got to come back into knowing what you already were used to doing. Is the television cameras here? Did they come in? Nobody has no knowledge of that?
Yes, sir. They came. They shot some while you were while we were being blessed to have you explain your family, and then they interviewed Secretary James in the corridor. So
they interviewed Secretary James?
Yes, sir.
He took him back to the beginning?
I thought it held his hand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, they were here.
Are they supposed to view any of this?
Are they supposed to
show it on the television?
Yes, sir. And my understanding is that there are two others who are supposed to show up, two other stations. This was Channel 9.
All right. Well, this is what usually happens. If you go back to look for it on the TV, if you see it, what you're going to see is going to be very small. This is because the devil is not going to help us rise until he sees that we got it in control. You know, it's like a lazy person. You doing all the work, and when they see you just about finished, then they come up, well, can I help you? You know, almost insulting you. But if you say yes, then they can say, well, look what we did. You see? Or however, they'll come, and I don't mind them coming. They can study this because it's no secret. They'll come and take quite a bit. And they'll study it and study it and study it. And show you two words. But they come to get the information. They study the language. They study the people that was on the roster with me. They study what was said, how it was said. They study it. They see, where is the weakness? They're not looking for the strength. They're looking to see, where is the weakness? And when they find it, this is where we'll focus. It may take us up to 6 years and 9 months. But if we get it before that 12th month rolls around, we got them. Are you listening? Yes, I'm telling you, this is the way it happens. And there's no need to get angry when you see this on TV. You say, well, that's all they showed. Don't even worry about it. Because soon we have our own TV show. I'm very happy about the progress that we're making, or the time that I'm in. I see my brother-in-law is here, and I think that's a momentum, what you call it, a monument or a milestone. That's the way I see it. If he continues to stay with me, like I said, he's a brilliant brother. I won't get on him today like I did the last time. But to be brilliant and keep it to yourself, that's cheating the rest of the people. We at a time now, we need every ounce of knowledge that we can get. We need it. So if you're brilliant, and I wouldn't say it if you wasn't, we need for you to display it. We need to experience it. We need it. Is that right? Yes, sir. So Perhaps he'll get in contact with his brother-in-law and we can get together and see where best to put his knowledge. And as far as us having jobs, we are making them and creating them. Do not lose your life behind a job. Don't do that. Don't feel as though you're losing something. If you come with us, I know when the messenger put the call out, or he had already put it out, when I did much like the captain here. When I heard about this, I said, what? And I was making from $600 to $700 per week. And I said, well, I'm in transportation. I want to do it for the nation. I want to do it for the messenger. I want to do it from what I read here. If this is indeed true, I don't want to do nothing else the way that I'm doing it now. And I wrote a letter, and when I wrote my acceptance letter, or I wrote the letter that we had to write, our Savior's letter, I wrote another letter with it. I expressed in the letter, if you will have me, if you got something to do in North Pole, and I hate the cold, I'll go there. And I went. They sent for me, and I started driving for the nation. Tractor trailers, bringing the bullets to the different neighborhoods. And I went from $600 to $700 a week to $170 a week. And I have missed not one of those dollars that I took a cut in. I didn't miss nothing. Matter of fact, I felt much better with the $170. Matter of fact, it was $172 and some cent, I think it was, per week. We got a salary, and that's what it was. I don't care if I stayed there 24 hours a day. I know what it was coming. It wasn't going to be no more or no less. But I didn't miss nothing. Are you all listening? Yes, sir. So to get this started, whatever you're willing to sacrifice, believe me, if you keep breathing, it's going to come back to you. Not 20 years later. Give it 6 months. Give it 6 months. And when you get it back, don't say, well, I got it back, and you pocket it and say, well, that turned out good. If that came back to you in 6 months and we tripled it and quadrupled it, take some more and invest that and see if that come back even bigger. We got to think. And don't think selfishly. All right? Do we have any questions? What time? Well, questions usually take a little while, so I'm going to take it up to 5. It's already after 4 o'clock. Do we have it? If we don't have no questions, I'll continue on with this. Oh, yes, sir. Come to the mic. We have mics on both sides. Praise be to Allah. Oh, look like they found each other. You have a question, brother?
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I would like to know...
before we start, did I make this clear concerning the vision? If it's not clear, go into Ezekiel and read that. I know it's got some horrifying things there. However, it's got some very good things there. And this is what we're participating in. We're participating in life. So much so that we automatically put a death nail in death. So when you read those horrible things, it is because of us coming alive. It's bringing about this other thing. Is that clear? Yes? All right, brother.
Yes, sir. I would like to know why. I was reading in the Theology of Time where the messenger said that he asked Master Farad Muhammad about the sun. And Master Farad Muhammad got very angry and told him, if you ask me anything about the sun again, I will leave and not come on back. But later, he did reveal some things to the messenger, and the messenger said that we were not supposed to understand the sun. And why was that?
Well, the messenger was to deliver a message, not a teaching. Although a lot of things he taught us about. It was elementary teaching as opposed to what should be taught. Now, the messenger was asking something that would have brought him, if you get knowledge beyond your ability, beyond the time for it to be expressed, then you have a burden. So Allah wanted to keep him within the parameters of what the knowledge was to produce. So if he started teaching him about the sun, it would take him out of that parameter. And then when you get more knowledge, you have a tendency to forget that what you're supposed to be doing. Because the knowledge excites you. And you start exploring that when you should be exploring your duty. That's why. However, before the messenger passed, Allah let him know. So it was just at the time that he asked. It was out of order. And then again, Allah was Allah. He wanted to let the messenger know there's some things you're not supposed to know now. I'm God, not you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's why.
Also, Abraham's wife, was she black or white?
She was black. Abraham and his wife were black. And also Hagar was black. We didn't have to do anything with white people in that way. We sent Moose all to them. And anything happened after that, hey, they did it. You know, we sent other prophets to help them and aid them in trying to be righteous, but they rejected them and they killed Jesus. So no, Abraham is a black man. Sarah was black. Hagar was black. Their children were black. Ishmael was black. They were black.
Yes, sir.
My last question is, when before the moon was separated from the sun and there were no women, women were just created 66 trillion years ago.
Yes, sir.
Before the women were created, did we have the same sex organs then as we do now?
Oh, no, sir. There were no need for them. We had this.
Yes, sir.
And even with the sex, what you call sex organs, even with the organs that we have now, they don't work properly without this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You see? So we had this. However, since we brought it into a physical form and expression, well, therefore we had to bring about another physical organ to actually make the union with the physical, but guide it from here.
Yes, sir.
I'm with you and I love you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, brother. Yes, sir. Those ones that has never asked me a question, since it looks like it's not going to be a lot of time, let them ask first, if you will. Yes, sir, brother.
I'm just now beginning to become in tune with my spirituality and notice things on a different level, whether it be nature or the light that people manifest. I wanted to ask you how.
This is much like a child. You know, they are in the bosom of the parents or in the home. They feel safe. And even the parent can come in and clap their hand or make a loud noise and they jump. However, they weren't going to be harmed. But they don't know this. What you do with this, since we are grown-ups or young men or even into elderly, certain things happen that frighten us because we know it's a power that either we have or it's coming from a power that is outside of us. Although it may be in harmony, we don't know how to respond to it, so it brings a little fear up first. That's natural. However, the only way you can control that is that you must come to be with me. There's no way. We set up classes. You're not going to escape this. The first thing in making God God is to deal with his thinking. So we have to teach you how to think. Not what to think on, but how to think. And after you learn how, you can think what you want and always be right. So that's what it is. First, you got to know what it is, why it happens to you, how you should see it, how you should talk to yourself. Why do you say, you have power, what you're to do with it? Once you start getting into that, then you start being the master. You start coming into it. So it would be unjust for me to tell you how to deal with some power that you don't have the knowledge to actually master. You may hurt yourself or go hurt someone else. Well, that's how. You have got to come. Nobody's going to get around this. There are all the ones you see here in the white and the brothers in the bow ties that has come with the messenger and went through door to door in the snow and freeze their fingers off and their feet, toes almost fall off and their families leave them and whatnot. And then somebody else going to come up and I just tell them what to do and they, oh yeah, I got it. No. There is a formula and we must stick to it. The only way that I would do anything miraculous if the time calls for it. In other words, it has to be an emergency situation for me to actually do that. And generally, after it's done, it wears off because you don't have the knowledge to hold it. It's like you put too much water. If you put the water's running into a sifter faster than the sifter can let it out. At the time, you pour it in, it'll run over the side. But quit pouring in it. After a while you look, it's all gone. Because he couldn't hold it. All right?
And my
Brother,
second...
look, all of you, just come to the temple. We're not thugs. We're not people that's going to look down on you and say, well, you should have been here and you don't look right and you should get a haircut or you should. That's not what it is. We don't tell people all this what they're doing wrong. We show them what is right. And then we allow you to actually do it. You know, if you don't want to do it and we see that you showed a disposition or an attitude that you don't want to do it right as the way it is prescribed to do, then we ask you to take a little time off so you can see. Then the only time you may get hurt if you say, well, no, I ain't leaving, I ain't going to do it either. Well, then you might be in trouble. Other than that, you ain't in no trouble. Come to the temple, brother, and don't worry about, because you come out here, some of the brothers talk about, they go to the temple, and the minister is not coming up with the real spirit and whatnot. Forget that. Forget that. You come anyhow, because the devil is constantly, forever, every second talking to you. Even when you're sitting in the temple talking about, well, the minister ain't got enough spirit. That's the devil talking. Mm-hmm. What do you mean enough spirit? If you got the knowledge, why he got to have all that spirit for you? You generate the spirit. That answer your question?
My second question is, how do I get a hold of that potion you were speaking of earlier?
You want to hold a post?
No, the potion you were speaking of earlier. It slipped the nectar.
Oh, the nectar? You want to know what it is?
I want to know how I can get a hold of it and some directions on taking it.
Oh, well, you will have to speak to the secretary. You know, he'll reward you with that. You know, we have a secretary, we have a national secretary, and I have a national secretary, James. Or you see the sisters at the table that have the books and things and whatnot. They'll let you know. However, I think he went so fast, we don't have any here today, I don't believe. I don't know for sure. However, what we brought yesterday, that wasn't, it didn't deplete the well. We have more, but we have to get it to you. However, there may be some stipulations that you have to go through. Are you ill?
No, I'm not, but I was interested.
All right. Well, you can go and check it out. All right, just ask for the secretary, ask the ones back at the table.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And come to the temple, brother. Come see your own. This knowledge belongs to you. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I had come across a book called The Forgotten Books of the Bible. No, it was called The Lost Books of the Bible and the Forgotten Books of Eden. And I had come to read a chapter or a book in the Bible that was called The Secrets of Enoch. And in reading this, I come across him where he was talking about two elements of the sun, which is the phoenix and the chalkidry. Correct me if I say this wrong. It stated in the book that these two elements were with feet and tails in the form of a lion and a crocodile's head, and its appearance is in purple like the rainbow. Their size is 900 measures. Each has 12 wings like angels, and then 10 accompany the sun and bearing the heat and dew, which bearing heat and dew. And later on it states that these two elements, called the phoenix and the chalkidry, when they come together, they break into a song, which causes every bird that flutters with wings fly as though they are dancing and rejoicing in the sun in the rays of the sun. I want you to clarify what all this means, and if there are any other elements of the sun, I want you to tell me what they are and what do they do.
Well, yes, there's many elements of the sun, but this is what they have done. They have taken the truth that we gave them on a scroll and put it in a mysterious way to cause you thinking, no, you're not going to come up with the answer. But this is what they're saying. After the 50,000 years, there was only 12 tribes left. Mm-hmm. Now, the 12th tribe is supposed to be the ruler. Now, the closest thing that they could come with a ruler with authority is the lion. But he's not the king. So they put it encoded. They code it. So they put it this way, showing that, and once all of the other 12 tribes or leaders come together in harmony, which they cannot do until the 13th one come about, which is myself. When that happens, the book reads, and they sang a new song. Right. You know what the Bible reads? Mm-hmm. To this one. So that's all that's being said. That's all that's being said. You know, it's like, and white people wrote this. Even if a black man wrote it, he do his researches on what white folks done read, whatnot. He puts his own interpretation in and comes up with a book. And I say this because we did not give black people none of the scrolls. So you come up with an idea in your head, you're going to write a book on something. To research it, you go to the library. White folks put it in there. Mm-hmm. You want to word it right. This is the King's English or English. White folks, we allowed him to do it. So the base of it is still Satan. Now I come along and you go through all this long reading. No disrespect, but you read it because you're searching for knowledge. And it's 2 or 3 paragraphs and it can be summed up in one sentence. But that's what it really means, brother. It's saying that you the God. It was only one tribe that was lost. That's the 13th one. It wasn't the 12th. It wasn't the 8th. It wasn't number 1. The 12th tribe was lost. And because the 12th tribe was lost, the 13th rather, the other 12 broke apart because this devil came in and we allowed him to be a man of dissension. He broke them up. Now, and he's letting us know that all of us that are black, this original, come from the sun. Now, when this 12 gets back together, they're so happy that they made a new song. Now, but until they did come back, they got parts of the lion there because they're not in harmony. However, they are the authority on running the planet. But they're not the king. That's what it means.
All right.
You going to get the tape?
Thank you for that.
You going to get the tape so you can go over it?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Excuse me, Father.
Yes, sir.
We'd like to request that you limit your questions to 2 questions so that all those who have questions can get an answer to them. Is that correct? Is that okay? And then if you have follow-on and the line is short, I'm sure Father would take it from then.
Okay. Well, I'm going to skip to my third question. My third question has to do with my name. My last name is Bilberry. My first name, my middle name is Jeremy Patrick Bilberry. And this is my slave master's name. And I want to know what those names meant.
Well, I'm not going into names, but I'll tell you this much. You said Jeremiah or Jeremy?
Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Mm-hmm.
And then your last name was Peel what?
Is Bilberry.
Bilberry?
My middle name is Patrick.
Patrick? Well, in essence, it means that you are a very valuable individual. And a lot of things will be built from your thinking. And no one actually has to teach you what you have. It's already there. You just need to be touched up and given a few keys because you got it. All right? No. I didn't go through it name by name, but that's in essence, that's what it means from the first to the last. And I'm not doing this because I don't want to encourage other ones to come up to ask me about their name because it takes a little time. It's personalized. In other words, you do have a right to be personal with me. However, I'm bringing it to an end as far as being in the public. That's something that you can ask me, just you and I. All right?
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Would you let the sister go first? No, sir, right here. Sister? Sister?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, my question is a Muslim registered under the Nation of Islam considered a Muslim registered under the United Nation of Islam since both foundations are the same?
Let me see if you say is the Muslim registered under the Nation of Islam?
With the guidance of Minister Louis Farrakhan, considered registered under the United Nation of Islam?
Oh, yes, ma'am. In other words, whoever accepts Minister Farrakhan, and they got their X, when they finally decide, well, that was good, but they want the greater, and come with us, we accept the X. It's not that the minister not doing anything bad to the people as far as your X's and names and things of that nature. What he's doing, he don't have the vision. You know, if he would say, well, realize that he don't have the vision and give it up to the one that does have it, well, then those ones that come under him, you still are sister and brothers.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, sister. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Father, I needed to come and talk to you about what happened to me yesterday. When I was up here, I left really abruptly, and I offended someone that was with you. And I needed to apologize to you and to anybody that was with you that I offended, because I wasn't leaving to be disrespectful.
Were you the one that asked me, could I?
Yes, sir.
Is
yes,
this Sister
sir.
Pearl?
No, sir. It's Dorcine. I'm from Buffalo.
Oh, you're from home, right?
I'm from Buffalo.
Yes, ma'am. All right. I didn't take it as an offense. I already knew what was happening when you came up. You can see me.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. What I wanted to also, too, is that you did answer it. You allowed Mother to answer it. You allowed the captain to answer it. You allowed everybody around me to answer it for me. Even myself this morning while I was laying there thinking about you. And I really appreciate that, and I love you. Oh, I love you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I have a question for my aunt. She can't get up and come down. She wanted to know, she's been watching Minister Farrakhan on TV. They have a broadcast that comes on in Buffalo, and she's noticed that they're not displaying the national anymore. And is there a reason for that?
Well, I had no knowledge of that, but however, from what I've been observing, the conduct that one would have to display to constantly have the national with them has been lacking. So I can easily see how the scientists would take that away from them, because they're not, it would be no different than what we were saying, that the devil is taking and using Jesus' name to cover his dirty religion. We'd be taking the flag of Islam that represents the universe and using it as a shield to fool the people in thinking that you're doing right. So if that is indeed happening, it's its own time. What I'm doing, like I'm saying, like the brother asked me yesterday, an earthquake has indeed struck the nation.
Yes, sir.
And it is coming from me because of Adonijah, because of Minister Lewis, and all of the ones that is around him that hate me. Every time I think that if I wanted to get angry, I could really get angry and really do some damage to them, because I can understand maybe one or two. But I'm not an individual to hurt you. I'm not an individual that's talking crazy. Now, how you going to get him and 5 or 6 or a whole group of people that won't even mention my name? For what? Why? And I'm talking about doing the same thing you're doing and expressing that I have the knowledge to do it in a greater way. That's like saying, well, listen, I want to go from here to New York. I want to get there in 3 hours or 4 hours. But then you have the plane. I got my car. And you tell me, come on, I got the plane, I'll take you. We get there in 3.5 hours. No, I'm driving. Well, I can forget about getting there in 3 hours or 4 hours. It's no different than him. Everybody says he's talking about Allah. He's talking about the messenger. He's talking about building a nation. He's talking all this. And we have to do it in so and so time. Well, I'm saying, hey, I'm doing it. I got the power. I got the plane. Let's go. No. Why? We won't talk about it. We won't even talk about it. So that's crazy. It appears to me he went so long that he offended me. So I sealed his ears. He can't hear it no how. Because I got a few smacks for his hind part.
Mm. Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. It's written in the Bible. He feared because of me. And I sent the captain to go bring his hind parts off the altar. It wasn't but one man that wouldn't give it up. That was Joab. Remember now, when he left, Joab came in. And we also sent word to him, man, you got to give that up. He said, well, he have to come and fall on me. I told the captain, hey, go fall on him. If that's what I got to do. So I hope I answered the question. I hope I'm not offending anyone concerning the minister, but he's offended God. So I really don't care if I offend him.
Right. Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Yes, sir, brother. I've been holding my tongue what I really want to say about him to you all. So you can actually see. Not because I want to talk about him. However, when something's in your way, when the IRS comes and want to pull an audit on you, you want to go find, if you don't know how to do it yourself, you go look for the accountant. Someone that knows. Is that right? And now, if you get the account, here comes somebody else come up and say, well, listen, don't do his taxes. He don't deserve it. Let him suffer. First thing you want to do is go get the person that is stopping you from getting the accountant. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Because the accountant said, well, yeah, I'll come. Well, somebody else is stopping you. Here it is. This is no better than the preachers, keeping the people out in the churches, performing in front of them, shaking and trembling and foaming and everything. He's doing the same thing. He's stopping the others that want to do right, came in and got their ex, showed that they want to do right. He's a block, won't let them get no further.
That's right.
So he's rubbed me the wrong way. Yes, sir, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
Just recently, my sister-in-law had called my wife, and she was explaining to her that when she go to sleep, that feel like she be flying high above the planet, or at least the surface. And when she explained it to me, and I explained to her, I said, "Well, I have these same dreams, and I want you to expound on them."
Yes, sir. Get the tape that we have for donation UFO. I think we still have the tape if you order it. But what actually happens if you're asleep, your entity actually leaves. And that's where you go. You know, you're tied somewhat to the body. And remember, we're doing everything in ignorance. A lot of times, you know, I know when the scientists were talking to me about the little ships. And I seen, one night I stopped and I called for him. I wanted to see him. I was driving a truck and I stopped in this secluded area. It was cold, but it was beautiful outside. All the stars, the moon was shining, and it had a crispness to it, a crispness to the air. I got on top of the cab, and I called for him. I said, you know, come forth. I want to see you. And no sooner than I could get it out of my mouth, 3 of them came in. Shoot, just that quick, they were there. Then they did dances for me and everything, but wasn't nobody around but me. You know, I don't know if anybody else from the neighboring area saw them or whatnot, but I was watching it. And when I spoke to the scientists again, they say, you know, quite a few times you have called them and didn't know you did it. And when they came, you didn't give them no instructions, so they went back. So a lot of things we do, and we don't know we're doing it. You see?
Yes, sir.
So you must remember you God.
Yes, sir.
We want to know that we God and know how to consciously do it.
Yes, sir.
Right?
My second thing is, I hear that you have a small study class in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is my hometown, and I'll be traveling there this month. And I ask for you to bless me and to don't let the devil stop me in my development, to help magnify you when I get there. Yes, sir. You'll get there, brother. And then see the secretary, and if you haven't been to the study classes, he'll give you the address, phone number, and everything in that nature, in Baton Rouge. Thank you, Father. I love it. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
Understanding that Shabazz is the father of the 13th tribe.
Well, yes, sir. That was his name.
Yes, sir. And the 13th tribe composed of the best of all the original tribes, or the 12 tribes.
Yes, sir. Well, we won't say best in that sense. They are the spiritual head of all.
Yes,
they
sir.
were the spiritual head of the God tribe. That don't make them any better. But what it does do, it shows, in other words, the other 12 gives purpose to the 13.
Yes, sir.
And the 13 gives aim and vision to the other 12.
Yes, sir. That was my question. I wanted to know who is exactly the 13th tribe? I mean, understanding that it composes of the other 12, but you do speak of individuals as being exactly from that tribe.
Well, the 13th tribe are those of us, they're all black.
Yes,
and
sir.
they are those of us that are spiritual. You can go out into the evening in your thinking, and you can see things and bring them in as to what should happen, what must happen, and what can happen. In other words, it gives you a choice. And in doing so, you give, it's almost like give the other 12 the vision. You know, you can give it to them so they can see it, and they actually go and carry it out. But we are people. In other words, we are physical people that actually do nothing but deal. I won't say nothing. Our prime objective or our best attribute is spiritual. In other words, we have the God knowledge. We have the knowledge of creation before the others get it, that help us to create. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
who they are. Otherwise, it's not who I'm calling by name in this English language, but you hear, and shortly, these are the ones that the angels were looking for, the lost tribe, the God tribe. And it reads in our lessons, do you have your lessons?
Yes, sir.
The reason in the lessons, if you read the problem book about the 144 stars, 144,000 stars,
Yes,
in essence, that's who they're talking about. However, like the brother just left here, the knowledge that we have, we refer to as being rusty locks. It's meaning that the knowledge is locked up in us. And it's hard for me to break it loose from you because the lock is, you don't hold it so long it's gotten rusty. And I got to come with a specific oil that can penetrate that rust to make you come back to be alive again.
Yes, sir.
And until that happens, the other 12 tribes cannot live up to the fullness of their potential.
Yes, sir. In the meantime, with that vision, because I have experienced an in-depth amount of vision in dealing with the brothers and sisters around me, it's almost a sense of urgency to move out on the vision. And
yes,
again, you spoke to me about this in Savior's Day, I'm getting better at it. But it's so much fire behind the vision, and I was still trying to stay settled in it. And I wanted you to again explain to me what I could do with that.
All right.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Did you get the tape from Savior's Day?
Yes, sir. I studied.
I'll go over that with you again in privacy.
Yes, sir.
Because the time is so short, I see that
yes, sir.
We got quite a bit of time.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir? You want to go? Yes, ma'am. Sister?
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
With your permission, Father, I'd like to share a dream with you that I had about 3 weeks ago.
Yes, ma'am. It's not too long.
No, sir, it isn't. The dream was like I was at a gathering. However, at the time, I could not get out to see you. You were speaking. I believe maybe I was on a post, but I'm not sure. At the time I found out that you were leaving, there was a brother that came back and shared with me and another sister that you were leaving. And at the time I said I couldn't get a chance to ask you a question. However, what the brother told me was that you were leaving. If I ran outside the building, I could see you leaving. At that time, my sister and I, we did run outside the building and we saw you, another brother, and 2 women walking behind you. We were staring across the street at you as you were walking away from us. At that time, I turned to my sister, and I had mentioned to her I was hoping that I had the opportunity to ask you a question. Then you seemed to be turning back towards us. And as you approached us, my sister had said to you, well, relating to me, not to be a pest. And you had said to her, she's not being a pest. And however, what we did was we was walking towards the building where you had left from. And you stopped and you had said to me, remember the rules, follow the rules. And at that time, I related to the job that I had. And then you walked to your car and you left. However, it changed again, and I was driving your car back to the building, and I had your keys in my hand. And as I got out the car and gave the keys to the brother, I said to him, these are Father's keys, don't lose them, he will be back for them. Will you tell me what that means, Father?
Yes, ma'am. You all are never a pest to me. However, I have laws and rules of how to approach me, so it won't stop my motion. What happened with you? You have a right to see me and speak with me, but there's a way to actually do it. And once you learn that, and when I say remember the rules or the laws, that's what I was talking about. If you contacted the people that's necessary to actually see me, then I would allow the time for you that you're supposed to have. Now, the keys, that was the keys. When you gave it back, it's like, well, this is what Father told me. It's much like when Jehovah told Moses to go down, take these laws for the people. He came off the mountain down with the laws to give to the people. But the people was acting so crazy that Moses lost his temper and threw it on. With you, or in that particular dream, it was a personal message. If you don't have an urgency to see me now, you will. And when you do, start now to find out how does anyone get to see Father? That's all you got to do.
Yes, sir. May I thank Mother, Father?
Can you thank Mother?
May I thank Mother for a personal blessing that she gave me?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mother. Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
I'd like to know what tribe Yaqub is from.
What tribe you from?
Yes, sir.
The lights in my face is.
Yaqub?
No, I don't think you're from the Yaqub tribe. There's no such tribe as that.
I'd like to know what tribe Yaqub is from.
Oh, what tribe Yaqub's from?
Yes, sir.
Yaqub is from the 12th tribe. He was from the 12th tribe. We didn't. Now, and you might say, well, how do I know? Or what would be a good way to find this out? By the time Yaqub was brought about, the 13th tribe was already lost. So it was the 12th tribe that he came from.
I have one more question, Father. One of our brothers here is in violation of his parole by being here. I wanted to know what would be the best situation for him. Should he go back and be with the devil or be with you?
He's in violation?
Yes, sir.
Does he live here in this city?
No, sir. He stays in Houston.
Is he supposed to? Was he supposed to report it before he have an opportunity to return?
Sir, I'm not sure, but he has responsibilities during the week.
Well, I would do it this way. You know, you don't go and tell on yourself. Those of you all that read in the Quran and whatnot, it reads, you know, even when you try to tell on yourself, you got to bring 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses, and you know, it makes it very difficult for you to tell on yourself. Even somebody else will tell on you. You got to bring all these witnesses with you. You know, because in this type of matter, anytime anyone does anything to actually be in my company, if it's from the heart, when he or she returns to wherever they think they're in trouble, they'll find out they're not. I'll take care of that. He might be in trouble till he get there. The officer might be jumping up and down. I dare him not to call me. He broke his parole. He's going to do all the time. And when he gets back, sir, I have returned. He looks at him. Oh, you could have took more time.
Yes, sir.
You see, and another thing also, if a person is intelligent enough to explain, there is nothing comes before God. Nothing. If someone tells you, well, listen, you didn't keep your promise. You promised me you were going to do thus and so. And the person said, well, yes, when I made the promise, I had all intentions to fulfill it until I met God. And I had to go search this out to see if it was truly that. Nothing supersedes that if that truly is the case. However, if you promise someone something and you're going to break it, especially to the original man, let them know, listen, I'm not going to be able to keep the promise because. If they say, well, I'm not going for that, and you say, well, look, you just have to do what you have to do. I'm going to see. You see? Nothing comes before this. So if he did this or she have done this and they go back, no one has power over me. Tell him have no fear. Now, if he didn't have to report by the time he can get back, don't say nothing. You don't tell on yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
I came to the mic to bear witness to the product Allah's Nectar.
Yes, ma'am.
I purchased some yesterday. Even I gave donation for some yesterday, and I drank the glass full.
Oh, glass full?
Yes, sir. It says Allah's Nectar, and I smelt it, and I tasted it, and I drank it. So, when you were saying how it would deal with your inside and make you feel, I experienced that, and I immediately thought that I would deal with it for my clients, you know, when I go back. And I'm going to have to check with you first since you said what you said. And I also have a female tonal form that I fixed up, and I took that too. And I'm a little in the ethers a little bit. And I also want to thank you, Father. My daughter came up here with me traveled with my son and the grandchildren up here to hear you and to be in the Independence Day this weekend.
Very
and
good.
I'm thankful for that too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Assalamu
ma'am.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. We expect much from this sister. Sister, I don't think she's asked the question before. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'd like to know if the time of day and also the position that someone is sleeping in has anything to do with the meaning of a dream.
Meaning of a dream? It does. It has very little effect on that. However, what it does affect your dreams and whatnot is what you eat. You know, and if you're eating in the wrong time of day, it don't hardly make any difference which way you lay. If you have a dream, it affects what type of dream you have. Although the dream may be right, but if the food is making the body uncomfortable, it'll show everything up in the dream is negative. And then in the day, unless you're working at night, we made the daylight for moving around. You know, what we do is sleeping in the daytime. I'm only being humorous.
Yes, I'd also like to know if I had a dream at, say, 2 o'clock in the daytime, and then I can't get my thoughts together. If I had a dream at a certain time, if I had the same dream at another time, would it have meant the same thing?
Oh, yes, ma'am. If you're having the same dream reoccurring more than 2 or 3 times, it's us giving you a message. It reads in the Bible that we send dreams to those in their sleep for guidance. It's just that this means it's not talking to a dead people. Dead people you dream in, it's guidance, but you don't know what it's guiding you to, so it really don't mean no difference. But the practice of it don't stop. When you start to come into knowledge, and you still have dreams and whatnot, my daughter has dreams frequently. And she comes and says, Father, so-and-so and so is the case. She dreams about the minister. She tells me things are going to happen. And 2 or 3 days, sure enough, it happened. But we know what it is because she has knowledge. Now, a lot of things, when it first started, she didn't have the knowledge. She would tell me what the dream was. We would misinterpret it, but we got better and better and better. Now, when she had one, we got it right on it. It's for instruction.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father. I'd like to make a statement and then follow by a question. The statement is that I thank you wholeheartedly. I haven't been before you in a long period of time because when I first heard the knowledge of you and I accepted it, I've been so contented and so comfortable with what I first heard. And so my spirit has been so abundantly in tune with what you shared from the beginning that I've just been comfortable. So I'd like to thank you for answering all of my prayers. Yesterday, I had an opportunity. My post was to be in the kitchen, and I put a thought out there. I said, I just want to see Father. And however, there was some correction made. However, you answered just that prayer of myself, and I just want to say thank you and that I love you. My question, Father, to you is, in the book of Genesis, Adam and Eve produced 3 sons, one being Cain and one being Abel and also Seth. Could you share with me, Father, how these sons that Adam and Eve produced, one specifically the son of Seth, how does it relate to us today?
That's another way of saying spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Yes, sir.
You know, if you notice, Abel was spiritual.
Yes, sir.
The physical one that didn't take no spiritual guidance killed him. He's physical. He built all these big buildings and everything. They just didn't talk about the mental one.
Yes, sir.
That's all.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Father.
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I would like to understand the significance of 2 Texas cities. One is Houston, Texas, and the other is San Antonio, Texas. I've had the opportunity to spend some time in both cities, and I would like to understand where they fit in the overall development of the plan.
Well, Texas itself is the last state for white people, to have their stand. Or, I mean the ones that refuse to, or that continue to want to do things the way they do it. We're going to allow them to have that particular part of the land. And the ones that's going to be in San Antonio is the ones that's going to really be ignorant. Houston, they're going to prosper a little. But San Antonio is not going to be a good place to be. They're going to really come out with their real cave mentality.
Yes, sir. I've had some experience with that already. That's my second question is on when we met last year, and you said that you would marry us all. I wasn't really ready to get married to you then. I thought a woman would be better, but now I understand what was meant.
Is this Byron?
Yes, sir.
Oh, brother.
And I'd like to say that I love you, and I'm with you. And there's one thing that I want to understand. Throughout the year, as I went in motion, nothing ever happened to disturb my peace until the day that I called you. And I want to understand why. Why did that happen?
Well, when you answer the call of God, Satan is not going to give you the permission to answer it unless you're for real, because he knows I don't want nobody pretending. So until I call you, or until you answer the call, he already got you. It's not that you volunteered, but you were born in sin. Then you were baptized in iniquity, meaning trick. So he already got you. Now when you decide, well, I'm going to divorce this and do right, Satan says, oh yeah? Oh really? Now, if you really want it, you will. If not, you come up and look at it, turn and go.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know, when you go to sleep in the afternoon, how come you sleep less time than when you go to bed at night?
Well, because of the force and power that's emanating from the sun. You're not supposed to have your eyes closed during daylight hours. I know what we do now, the different hours that we work and the different things, the different habits that we have. We have everything all messed around. However, the law is when the sun is shining, you're supposed to be active in doing something. And it forces your eyes open. You can lie in the bed, and if you have a place where the sun can shine through directly on you, you don't have to have no alarm clock. If you're laying up there, the sun shines through the window, if it strikes your face, it's going to wake you up. So that's why. So when you may lie down in the afternoon or during the course of the day because of you being tired. However, the force of the energy that's constantly coming at you, after a while, just a little bit it's almost like a battery in a car. It's ran down. You go to give it a jump. It comes back up. But as soon as you take the cables off, if you're not careful, it goes right back, it dies down again. This is the same thing with, you build up enough energy while you sleep that your eyes can open back up again. The call from the body for rest has been at least answered for a while. So then the eyes open back up. But if you really knock that and the body really got to happen, I don't care how much the sun's shining, you out. Until your body replenishes itself, then you wake up again.
Thank you.
Is that clear? Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I want to know why we have two different eclipses, a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse.
Well, this is because the moon is circling around the earth, and the earth and the moon is circling around the sun. And when one gets in the path of your eyesight between whatever body, if it's a solar eclipse, it is the moon has gotten between you and the sun. So it casts a shadow. And you don't see the sun until the moon moves out, and then it comes back. It's only because of the rotation of the planets. And likewise, when you have a moon eclipse, is that the earth is shining, the sun is hitting the earth on one side, and it's casting a shadow of the earth on the moon in such a way at a time when it's supposed to be, you have an eclipse there. So it's just the position. There is no specific reason other than the way that it is in motion. Now, when that happens, because of the interference in certain powers that is being emitted from the sun and the moon, you have a reaction. But it's not done just for that. That's just the reaction of it.
I understand. My second question is like a curiosity question. I want to know why, since we all come from the sun, right? Why some brothers like more heat, or some brothers can stay in the heat longer than other brothers.
Well, most of it today, well, that's according to what part of the sun you come from. When I say all of us come from the sun, excuse me, that's like saying all of us here is in North America. But what part? Like the brother was asking me about San Antonio in Houston. In the sun, when you pass and go back to the sun, you just don't go to the sun any place. There are homes in the sun. And you go to these specific homes. And this is why, and to let you know, the devil know this, this is why he says, what time were you born? And the time that you were born tells him what part of the sun you came from. Because that part of the sun carries a certain characteristic of the person that is just entered. You see, so that's why. And the deeper you're in the sun, the more heat you can stand.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you for permitting me to be here.
Yes, sir.
Some brothers are saying that Minister Farrakhan, well, they want to know, I'm trying to phrase it the right way, this march that's going to supposedly take place in Washington. Some say if it takes place, then Minister Farrakhan is whatever. And if it does not take place, then you are the one that stopped it.
Well, you tell the brothers that is saying that or thinking that, if it don't take place, I'm the one that has stopped it. I still haven't made my mind up whether I'm going to let it actually happen or not. Mainly because I'm giving him all the time that I possibly can for him to see.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I stop it, I may not stop it. I may let quite a few brothers get killed. Just so they can see him.
Yes, sir.
You might say, well, that's cruel. God is love. Yeah, love what's right. They don't love me. You know, that's like saying, white people, I go downtown, I get welfare from white people.
Yes, sir.
And now, because, I see where one of them got the head cut off, and I'm supposed to cry and moan like Oprah Winfrey.
Yes, sir.
Hey, they're not giving me nothing. And they really don't care about me. So I'm not teaching Christianity where you slap me on one side and I turn the other side. No. We had 400 years, and we got 4 chiefs. One on each side and two on your behind. And they have slapped us 4 times.
Yes, sir.
We don't have no more chiefs to turn.
Yes, sir.
So these brothers should be able to move on the base of knowledge, not on the base of the minister. If I tell you something that's crazy, I wouldn't expect you to do that. I wouldn't. Now, if I'm going to tell you to do something that you don't understand, I'm going to tell you to you in such a way that you do understand it's important enough for it to get done, and your understanding will come. Not for you to do it and understand it never will come, and I'm the only one benefit from it.
Yes.
These brothers, they can't take no tape, they can't take nothing because I say what the minister is doing. If that's offensive to them, what in the hell they think their action is to me?
Yes, sir.
I can do something to them. They can't do nothing to me but cause me to be aggravated with them.
Yes,
as the Quran reads, the only thing you can do to the righteous man is cause him to be aggravated. But I can actually kill them.
Yes, sir.
And go, like the messenger say, kill them, go home and get me some bean soup and eat.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Father.
And this, I'm not saying this because it sounds good. This is the ability that I actually have. You could do it too. But you have to have the knowledge. I don't have something that you don't have. I just have it before you. And I intend for you to have it. Because I want to see. I don't want to see all that I can do. If you God, well, show me you God. I'm going to do all this to put you in a place, and I want to see this God come out. I want to see it.
Yes.
I don't want to look in the mirror and just see me.
Yes, sir.
I get tired of looking at that. I want to see something else. That's not a mirror of me, that it is them. You can be a mirror of the idea, but like we made the flowers. Before we come up with the idea of grafting the white man out of us, we made flowers. We grafted them to make different colors, to smell sweet, to make certain fragrances. I was riding down the highway the other day, and we went past the, what do you call where white people got it set up where it goes to this part. Well, normally when you go by, it has an offensive odor. because of the function, what's going on. We go by this day, and I look, I hadn't went by in a good little while. I'm riding by this time, I look, I said, oh, they got a whole bunch of flowers out. But the devil was smart. He put the flowers up and everything. The flowers had a good aroma, good fragrance to it. It kind of offset the other fragrance.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So the same thing with the minister and those that know damn well he's wrong. But they fear him more than they fear me.
Yes, sir.
And it's already written, if you fear someone more than me, then I'm angry with you.
Yes, sir.
I don't accept that. You have accepted God besides God.
Yes, sir.
What is it that the minister is doing that can make you more afraid of him than me? What is it? Because he threatened you? Because Mustafa took karate and he's going to chop you? Oh, no. And if you're really not afraid, then you should come towards the knowledge.
Yes, sir.
You see?
Yes, sir.
As far as them, I have the power to stop them in their tracks. And to let you know, you may know this, I don't know if you all have heard this before, when the messenger was on the run, well, he had just stopped running. He said, what do you call himself, Muhammad is back and he's not running no more. And a brother out of New York said, well, he'll go take him out, a master in martial arts. Went and checked in Chicago to the hotel, checked in the hotel, and they found him the next morning grounded on his own saliva. He couldn't judo chop that.
Yes, sir.
You see?
Yes, sir.
Now the minister knows all this. So why should they fear him and not me?
Yes, sir.
Is it that I must make a showing? I don't think they really want that, but if I can do it.
Yes, sir.
If it's necessary. So I haven't really made my mind up about the Million Man March. I just know that it's ludicrous.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. You know, we allowed Martin Luther King to do that.
Yes, sir.
It accomplished nothing but humility.
That's correct.
It makes us look like we are still beggars. And what really gets my goat, as this language say, here it is that this is a God's man that's doing this. So strong Allah's with me, two is with me, and we're rah. Now, if two is with you, what you need a million for? Yes, sir. Any more?
I think that will clear it up for him, Father. My second question is, and I don't, if it's not appropriate, it's up.
That's all right, brother. Lay it on out here.
When will the Honorable Elijah Muhammad be returning to Los Angeles?
Well, I spoke to him this morning. Well, I got a word through someone else that he said, I asked when was he going back to the East Coast. He said never. Well, if he's not on the East, he got to be somewhere in between or either on the West Coast.
Yes, sir.
But in all truthfully speaking, it should be sometime this summer. He may come out with me.
Yes, sir.
You know, quite a few of you all know him now, but he hasn't said anything to you other than personally. Maybe I can get him to say something when he gets to the mic this time, when we get out there.
Yes, sir.
You know, he always makes me feel very, very comfortable, very safe. If I don't have nobody else, even if my daughter turned against me and that looks like it's impossible, I always got him. I always have him. So I'll try to coach him, see if he'll say something.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Father.
Yes, sir.
And just one statement. I'm ready for my assignment, whatever you have for me to do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. I've been informed, since I don't wear watches, what time it is, and I want you all to eat again. I hope the $12 didn't break everybody so you can't buy any food today. If you don't have anything, and be truthful, if you don't have anything and you cannot purchase the meal, and those of you that have children, and you have more than one or two children, and you want to eat with us, and you don't have the money to actually pay for it, speak with my wife or my son or someone that's working in the cafeteria. They will know how much food we have. And if we have enough where we can spare it, you may have the meal. Compliments of the FOI and MGT. You may have it. Is that clear? Yes, right. We'd rather you take it, and those of you that live here, and we do have quite a bit of food left over, if it turns out to be that way, and I would rather that we give it to those ones that live here that can go and put it in a refrigerated place or whatever it is, and you all take it. This way, it won't be no loss. I don't want to see it going no garbage can. I don't want to see one person have 2 truckloads and they can't eat it. All right? So make sure, I guess the secretary or whatever it is take care, make sure that takes place as far as the food is concerned. However, I'll take the question that those that are here to ask me, and I think that's all I have. I'm taking a few audiences today and speak with you all privately. And so I'll take this and we'll cut it off and begin that. Yes, sir, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Well, just a moment. Was there any Christians in here that wanted to ask me a question? None? Or is any in here? All of you all left? Yes, ma'am. Come forward. I always like to give them an opportunity. Because they have a wealth of the knowledge of the Bible, we want to give them their understanding.
Salam alaikum, Brother Solomon.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you David's greatest son or Solomon's greatest son?
I'm King Solomon.
You're King Solomon?
Yes, ma'am. There's a difference in King Solomon and Solomon the king. No. Solomon the king.
I know.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I read it in the Bible.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're King Solomon?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I see. You're Solomon that said, though I'm black, I'm comely?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Did y'all hear what she asked? In the Bible, it reads that, I think, when Solomon was talking to, some of the ones they were doing war with or they was communicating with, he said, I'm black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem. This is what Solomon was saying. Yeah, black but comely. In other words, he's a humble man. This is I. What makes you humble, and I'm a king first, then Solomon. So that's why it says King Solomon. In the Bible, where it reads Solomon the king, when you refer to him that way, it's like he's Solomon and he's a king. Or he was made king. I'm born king. See, so that's the difference. And what makes me humble is knowledge. When you have knowledge of everything, there's nothing that can frighten you. There's nothing that really brings about an emergency. So you always have the appearance of being very calm, very humble, because nothing can frighten you. But the less knowledge you have, the more flighty you are. So yes, ma'am, it is me. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'll make the first question short. I just want to know, does the ant represent the black man? Because I was looking at some ants the other day crawling up the side of my house. And black people, especially black men, even in ignorance on the street, it's offensive, for brothers to walk by each other and not speak. And they always, they'll shake hands or, hug each other. When I was watching the ants crawl up and down the side of my house, they wouldn't just pass by each other. They would meet at the head and then, continue walking. I was wondering, does the ant represent the black man?
No, sir, the ant don't represent the black man. The ant is a creature that we made to make sure that they store the food for us in safe places in the earth. However, are you all having a problem with ants in general? Well, I'll tell you why that's happening. The ants want to be around Solomon now. And since really, everything is witnessing this independence. Not because it's Independence Weekend, but because what is taking place up until now, everything wants to get close to me. Now, to get close to me means to get close to the black man. So they are starting to come out of the earth now, and it's almost getting to be a pest. They're everywhere. Well, that's why. They know the time.
Yes, sir. And being in since I've been in Kansas and been around the brothers and sisters, it reminds me of the sun, the 7.5 million mile negative free zone. I'm not saying it's negative free. However, it's been such a blessing and been so beautiful being with the brothers and sisters. And I'd like to know from you some advice on how I can, and I feel real good, especially after yesterday. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed. And I'd like to know from you how, because I got to go back to Baltimore. And it's like, I heard you say that when we're in the sun, we almost hate to come back to the earth because it's like, I feel like I'm in the sun and I got to, go take an earthly body in Baltimore. And I was wondering, how can I keep my spirit up when I go back to Baltimore?
Discipline, brother. Discipline. God, if we could take and go down and be dead and come back up to be alive, that takes mighty discipline. When you come into light and you know the circumstances demand that you go back through the darkness, then you shape your thinking. Just because you got to go back into the darkness for a while around a situation that is not conducive for you or something that don't enhance the spirit. If you already know it before it happens, but it's a circumstance where it has to be done, discipline yourself, go and do it. You God. You keep your own spirit up. Put on one of the tapes. And you talk to yourself concerning what's going on, what you remembered, what you saw. What you are witnessing here today is not a lie. It is absolutely the truth. We're independent because I'm independent. And if you're with me, this automatically means that you are. So you go back to your prospective places, it don't mean it's going to be milk and honey. But because we are free, and soon it will be that. All right? This is what you do. You don't have to do nothing special other than remember. Remember.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Father. Happy
Yes,
Independence Day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Is Brother Minister?
Yes, sir, Father.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'd like to say, Father, first of all, that I submit to you and I love you very much. And I would like to ask your forgiveness of me, of my ignorance and my growth. My question, Father, is, where were our entities in the planets when they were being created or formed? And where was our entities housed in before the sun?
Well, all entities come from Allah, the original Allah. All entities is a part of His thinking. They are fractions. This is why I said it took Him 10,000 fractions to produce His own self, the own one. This atom that was spinning in total triple darkness had to gather 10,000 thoughts. We call them fractions to produce the one. And now, after the one was produced, the thinking didn't stop. Quite a few times, He took part of the thoughts and magnified them into an entity to represent something that He wanted to be done and sent them out as an entity. Now, we refer to it as a person or part of the Son. So, and they are always pure. That's why, if it wasn't, it would be no need for Him to be in one place. That one place where He is in the Son is absolutely pure. It's negative free. But He can't leave there and remain that way. I was the only one that was capable of doing that. Got it?
Yes, sir. My second question, Father, is sometimes when we be wanting to get to you to speak with you, say person to person, but things interfere in our way, is it also true or that you speak to us in the unseen, sir?
Oh, yes, sir. If any one of you all is denied by someone's ignorance, and if it's a necessity that you speak with me, I'll speak with you right then before you make an about face from the person. However, you do have the right to speak to me, but if I do it on one-on-one basis, I'd be tied up forever. I have taught some people that is around me, especially my family, I have 13 years, and I think you all can bear witness this from mother. And my son is coming in now with his father. It's not that he's coming and I got to teach him. I've already taught him. It's just that he had to accept what he was taught to be with his father. So a lot of things that you all say, well, I want to talk to Father. If you speak to those that are close to me, as the book reads, and I think the sister can bear witness to it, it reads in the Bible, if I could just touch the hem of His garment, The hem of my garment is the youngest child in my family. If it got here, if it's old enough to say, Dad, Dad, and you talk with it, it can converse with you, you'll be saved. You got it?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what that means.
And Father, I'd like to just thank you very much and your family for all the wonderful lessons that you are teaching us and lowering yourselves to us. Happy Independence Day, Father. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Thank you. Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum, Father. I just have one question to ask you. Like when you put the palm of your hand side to side, how come it looks like a shape of a bull?
Shape of a bull?
The head.
Or the head of a bull?
The shape of a head's bull. The bull head. The
Did
bull's
you say shape of a head of a bull?
Yes, sir.
Well, that would depend upon how you hold it. But were you talking about it like this? It's like this. You got your thumbs up.
Like this.
Now, this would have to be that this is in your mind. This is what portrays to your mind quicker than anything else. You got your two thumbs looking like horns, and the other part here, it's big and it comes down to a funnel. It looks, if you want to, you can picture it being a cow or a bull. This is almost like, you can look at the stars and you can make things out of it as you're looking at it. But it don't necessarily have to be that. It only depends upon how you're relating to what you're looking at in your own mind. I don't know if, in other words, I don't know if you have an infatuation with bulls or cows and you think about it a lot, or if you've seen it and it made an impression on your mind, and one day you look down at your hand and it reminded you of what you saw.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I just have one question. I would like to know, when an entity leaves a body to go back to the sun, how long does it take it to come back into a different person?
Well, whenever an entity leaves the body to go back to the sun, if it's truly going directly to the sun, it takes less than a second. It don't waste no time getting away from here.
Thank you.
Yes,
Assalamu
sir.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. And before you ask the question, the brother that asked the question about, how long it takes to get back to the sun, it's almost virtually impossible to time truth. The entity is pure truth. Now, what it performed while it was here, from the negative that was with it, since the negative don't go with it, it's going back by itself. So how can you put a time on truth? It's almost like soon as it leaves, it's back. It's like saying, you can't put a distance between truth, what is. If it means that the earth is surrounded with air, it's already surrounded. It's everywhere. I don't know if I said that right or not. What is? All right, yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
How long does it take for the entity of that the child was asking you about to come back into a body?
How long does it take the entity to come? You mean after the entity passes? How long does it take to come back into another body?
After it goes to the sun, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That depends upon the duty of what the God has for it to do. Sometimes, the entity passes, and we won't let it make it back to the sun. Then again, it may be there 1 trillion years before it's sent back.
Yes, sir.
But there is no recollection of time. To them, it's like they blink their eye. Because truth, if you can imagine something that's absolutely pure, there is nothing to bring about any type of obstruction or an attraction. There's nothing to weigh pro or con. It just is. So there's no time with this, it just is. So with us, it may seem like, it's a 1 trillion years is a long, long time. As far as being in the physical, and by being in the physical, it makes you slow down. You got to do things real slow. In the entity, if you just remain just an entity, like I said, if you're going to go approximately 93 million miles in less than a second, where's the time? So if you're there where there is nothing but pureness, there is no time. So as far if they are gone for 1 trillion years and they come back to do something else, it's like, hey, they just left. To them.
Thank you, Father.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam.
First of all, I just want to make a comment concerning a man and what he actually does. The promise that you made to Abraham was made 400 plus years ago. And as you mentioned, it's now being manifested now. We know that a man is he who knows what has to be done and then does it. From that standpoint, I just wanted to congratulate you and say that you are the epitome of man.
Thank you.
You know, seeing as that's the definition of a man. My question is, I wanted to know how long has my entity known you as you are?
Just about 25 or 26,000 years. Oh, you thought you were young? You all might say, well, he might be just making that up. How can we prove that? Yeah, how can you? No, but what happens is, when we first started with this, after my son actually made a way for me to come into the house, the God and I went off and spoke for a while. Matter of fact, for a good little while. And then he introduced certain entities to me. But they were done in intervals as to when certain things had to take place is when you came in contact with me. And yours was about that time. It's the same principle, is that I'm here in North America now. How many people know me? But as longer I stay here, the more people get to know me. But no, it'll be like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right on up until I'm so pronounced, then everybody know me, but they didn't know me all at once. Same thing happened in the Son. Understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's it.
My next question would be, how old are you according to Revelations?
According to Revelation?
Yes, sir.
Well, in a creation, I don't know of how to put any time on it. I'm self-created. Now, I could put time on myself if I came in the creation in the way where the original Allah did, with negative. He could put a time on that because he could remember when he was displeased. However, with me, I can only give you a time when I came with the original Allah. All before that, I wasn't pleased because I was self-created, all positive. I had nothing to reflect back on or to remember. So it's difficult for me to remember when I self-created myself according to time. Only thing I can say, I am. That I am. All right?
Yes, well, let me reword that. I heard on the tape, I think if I can recall this correct, that once you reach a certain chapter in Revelations, it will bear witness to the actual 13 years that it took for you to raise a family, and also the 7 years that it's going to take to actually rebuild a nation.
Well, yes, sir. You're probably talking about chapter 21 when I actually become a full-grown man as far as being Allah.
Yes, sir.
For you, it's not that I can't do it now. However, that was not the plan. It reads that I put away my power and I came as a child. That's why it says, a child was born, a son was given, however they say it there. It's really talking about me, and it allows me to do this to grow, to make you or cause you to grow with me. But it's only going to take a period of on all of it, 21 years, 3 times 7. But as far as my existence period, there is no way to calculate it. All right?
The second way I posed that question was actually what I was asking.
about the...
Oh, yes, sir. All right.
Okay.
So you got the answer?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I want to thank you all. Oh, yes, I want to thank you all for coming out. And I truly, brothers and sisters, has did a momentous duty. I keep looking at the records as far as the brothers and the sisters, and not for comparison to see who's doing what, but I just be nosy. And the sisters, the charities is always up. They want to make sure that I'm seen. I appreciate that. I really, really do. And especially the ones in headquarters. Because we don't have no building and no set place where we can come and actually commune with each other. You have been giving and giving to make sure some other place has it first. I have to speak to that. It pleases me much. And it also pleases the angels. So it is not just me that have your well-being in mind. You all understand this? You take it easy going back to your prospective hometowns and places. Don't do anything rash or crazy. Go in peace. And before you go, get both tapes of yesterday and today and go over it and see how much right you can find in it or how right you are in it. Today it's over with now as far as me making the declaration. I've made it to you. And that's enough. Now, if others don't want to accept it, they will soon will. Those that do want to accept it, regardless of what color, creed, race they are, it would be wise if they do. All right? I love all of you all. Assalamu alaikum.